What's up? What's up? What?
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, you guys? Come on in the room. Come on in the room. How's everyone doing today? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm excited. You're excited? You ready?
Did you go to my page?
I did not. Let's see if I can add it real quick.
Come on, Miss Dilmar.
Let's see what I can do. I might can't add it to your page because it need to be reconnected, but we maybe can do mine.
Or maybe I'll just go share it.
Okay.
I mean, you got to do it, then I can share it on your
Let's
page.
try it. Let's see.
Give us a second. Give us a second.
Go ahead. We good?
We good for what?
For you to share.
Y'all make sure y'all get y'all questions ready.
Let's
get ready to drop them in there.
Yes. You ready? Did
Let's
it?
go. Tell people about your day.
All right. Welcome you guys. Excuse me. Welcome you guys to REI Decoded. Welcome you guys to our Facebook Live. We want to make sure, well, we do this every Tuesday. We do a different training to really help you get to the next level when it comes to investing, whether you're on the sideline or you have gotten started and you just need that push, that momentum to help you keep going. All right. My name is Ashley Denmark. This is my co-host, Antonio.
I'm a co-host today. I'm a co-host. I done upgraded y'all. I'm a co-host now.
My co-host, Antonio Denmark, you guys. But no, in all jokes aside, we are your trainers. We're your funding experts when it comes to funding, when it comes to doing deals and getting deals done. Yeah, he a co-host. Y'all.
I'm a co-host. Hey man, y'all tap in. Let us know where y'all are from. If you're from Birmingham, give me a city from Birmingham that you're close.
The closest city. Don't say Birmingham. Give me a city. If you're from a small town, give me the biggest city. How about that?
One of our goals is to make sure that we are touching other states and not just the Birmingham market. So let us know how we're doing with it. If you're not from Birmingham, we really want to make sure you tap in. So
let's do it. All right.
So one thing I do want to say is that we are real estate investors first. Mm-hmm. We are coaches second. So our post is on the market. We're always talking to people about private lending. We're always talking about private money. As the leader of the business, as the owner of the business, that's my number one goal. Mm-hmm. My number one goal is to find private investors and recruit money. Absolutely. All right. So never forget what your number one goal is in your business. Your number one goal isn't to necessarily make sales or recruit customers or do the marketing or go see houses. Your number one goal is to generate private lenders and to generate income.
Absolutely. And you guys, if you are watching this and you know that this could help someone that you know, tag them, invite them here so that they can learn as well. You ready?
Share, y'all. Let's go.
Y'all ready?
Let's just drop them in the chat. One thing I will tell you is that if you are not in our REI Decoded group, you need to go get in that group. If you're in that group, that's where your questions will get answered. Also, if you join that group, we have a free mini series for you on real estate investing. Absolutely. So if you're not in the REI Decoded group, please join it. Somebody on my team gonna drop it in the group at some point in time. Just click the link and go on over there.
Absolutely. So it's REI Decoded. It's a Facebook group and it's REI Decoded. So for those of you who are on Facebook,
let them do it
because it's on different mediums, so it's not going to get to all of them.
All right.
But that will send it to all of them.
Okay.
All right.
All right, let's go. Get your presentation going. We talking private money.
We're talking private money. We're talking your business partner. We're talking how to be able to do more deals, you guys. So
The one thing I will say is that everything starts here. It starts mental. I'm gonna say that every time we start these trainings, it all starts here. You have to start thinking different. You can't think how you've been thinking and get in the same results.
Yeah, it's insanity.
You have to start thinking different. I can tell you now, real estate is not something that you need a whole lot of money for.
Right.
And you need to start thinking different. You can create partnerships, you can get private lenders, you can do a lot of different things to get into real estate and make money in real estate without having a lot of money or credit. But you got to start thinking different. You got to start having different conversations, and you got to start being around different people.
Absolutely. I remember, before we get into it, but I don't know if you remember, but I remember our first business partner, our first private money investor was actually one of my coworkers.
Shout out to Tiffany.
Shout out to Tiffany. She was one of my coworkers, and I had just got laid off from Regions, and we didn't know exactly what our next steps were going to be. We didn't know how it was going to look. And I remember Tonio saying, if we can't do a deal in these next 4 months, then we got a bigger problem on our hands. And she came to us and said, listen, we didn't even understand what that conversation looked like. It forced us to really dig and find out exactly how could we structure this deal with her. But she said, listen, I don't know how I'm supposed to help you, but I've been told that I need to help you. So you come up with how much you need to do these deals, come up with what it is, what the structure looks like. I just know that I'm supposed to be help you, and I'm going to be obedient by that. And we didn't know what the word we were doing. It was like, well, Tony, you do it. And he was like, well, that's your friend, you do it. And we were like, we didn't even know.
So the one thing I will say is that, going back to that first conversation with our first private lender, there was one goal in mind, and that was get the deal done. Mm-hmm. No matter what it took, no matter really what she wanted, it was get the deal done, because we understood that if we could make her a success, if we could make her money, then that will also make us money. So our first deal, it was like 50-50 split. Now, did we know it was 50-50 at the time? No. We was just creating a structure that made her happy and that made us happy. So understand that whenever you're trying to get off the sideline, whenever you're trying to get into the game, don't get caught up in how much you're paying them or how much you're making.
Yeah.
It's all about getting the deal done, because once you get to rolling, once you start getting proof of concept, money will start coming from all type of different directions, and your talk will change. The way you communicate will change. The way you talk with confidence will change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's dive into it, Tonio. What is a private money investor? A private money investor is someone who is looking to make their money work for them, but not exactly sure sometimes exactly how they want to do it, or don't want to really be hands-on with it. That's typically what your private money investor is someone that's lending something, lending it to a project, lending it to a business, lending it to an individual, to make their money work in their sleep, preferably.
So people that could be private money lenders, your friends, your co-workers, your cousins, your family, mom, dad, everybody you come in contact with is potentially a private money lender. And I don't want you to assume anything about anybody when it comes to money, finances, credit. You have the conversation with everybody, because the one thing having the conversation do is it helps build your confidence to have the conversation.
Right.
If you don't get enough hours in having that conversation or having those communications, it's going to be hard for you. Once you come across that person that's probably really interested, you have the confidence to talk.
Absolutely. I've had some people that say, well, it's not working for me. The conversations, I'm not getting anything. Understand that everything you do is working for you. It is molding you. The nose is molding you to know exactly, okay, what is it that they want to hear? What is it that they need? What is it that makes the deal work? And if you don't get those no's, if you don't have those conversations and you don't understand what it is that they're looking for, then you won't ever reach it. But don't quit on it when you're almost there, because it's those conversations that you feel aren't working. It's those conversations that you're having that you're getting better at, that you're practicing more and more, where it sticks. And then you learn, okay, this is how the conversation goes. This is what they're looking for in return. This is how I make it a win-win situation so that everybody wins. Let's talk about, Tonio, what a private investor is not. Let's talk about what they're not.
So a private investor is not a hard money company.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a company that has a product and a system that they are dictating terms to you all the time. That's not a private lender. A private lender isn't the bank. When you go get a loan from the bank, that's not necessarily a private lender. A private lender is someone that's touchable, someone that you can negotiate the terms with, someone that is looking for passive income.
Absolutely. And typically you're going to find these, they're all around you. Let me say that. They are all around you. They are your coworkers. My first one was a coworker. We weren't even like really, my first private investor was a coworker. We weren't even close friends, really. We talked occasionally, but we became closer later. But it can be your coworkers, it can be your stylist, it can be your mailman, your mailwoman, it can be anybody, your other parents that you meet with while you're taking your kids to basketball, softball practice. Like, it's just normal everyday people, all right, that you are around, that have money sitting somewhere. It can be family members where that money is just sitting somewhere and it's not working for them in the bank. It's not doing a thing at the bank. Did you want to add anything before I go on?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So some of the benefits when it comes to private money investors is you're not relying on the cash that's in your account. So you're literally doing real estate without having to worry about if you have enough funds in your account. You can do bigger deals. You can do multiple deals at a time.
And you can help them also. A lot of times, people that are private lenders, they don't know where to put that money. They don't know, they're not making money in the bank with that money just sitting.
Right.
So you are being a resource for them to help grow their money. All right. So understand that the benefits are endless when it comes to having private lenders. You can never have enough of them. All right. You can never have enough of them. So I don't know if you got this in here, Ash, but where do private lenders get their money from?
I don't have that in here, but let's talk about
all right.
it. 401ks that are just sitting there, stocks that aren't really doing anything, money market accounts, savings, IRAs. Could have just sold the house and just got it sitting in the bank.
Yep. A lot of times with those IRAs, when you leave a job, you don't necessarily transfer those 401ks and those things. So a lot of times they're just sitting out there not doing nothing. So if you have those conversations and acts about it, they can do what's called create a self-directed Roth IRA, and they can invest in you that way. One of our biggest ways of finding private lenders is through credit, y'all. The one thing that our business exploded on is when we started understanding that people in our circles, a lot of them had good credit, but they might not have money.
Yeah, they probably didn't have $100,000 just sitting in the bank, but they took pride in their credit. They had great credit, and they could turn that credit into cash and leverage that and start making money without using any of their retirement, any of their savings, any of their 401k. They could let money that was never even theirs work for them without even doing anything.
So, quick story. I'm going to tell you about our first private money investor that we created from credit. Mm-hmm. So he had a good credit score. We got his credit and we went and got business funding. Mm-hmm. So understand that's a process. If you need that, let us know. But we went and got business funding. We only got $40,000 in business funding. And he stopped it. because he did not understand the power of leverage. He didn't understand the power of what he was
He
getting.
said, that's enough.
He
That's enough.
thought that it was totally illegal. He was just like, this can't be right that they're giving me this money based on my credit score. So what
in my business.
In my business. So what we did was he got $40,000. We took that $40,000 and did a 50-50 split with him. All right. So we did a flip over in the Glen Iris area. It was our first flip in that area. So what we did was we got real estate funding on the first end. Front end.
On the front end.
And we used his $40,000 in business funding for the down payment. We used his $40,000 to make the payments on the interest payments. We used his $40,000 to start the rehab. At the end of the project, keep in mind, we made the payments on these business loans also. So we had structured to where we was making the payments on the business loans, but in total transparency, we had structured to where we can get money off the business loan and repay them their money. So even though we had $40,000, we had $10,000 set aside for payments. So it never came out of our pockets. It was always coming from the business fund.
It was always structured in the deal.
So after we sold the property, the real estate funding people got their money back. He got his $40,000 back, and both of us made $20,000 on his first deal. He made $20,000, and he stepped foot in that house one time.
And let me say this: he made $20,000 off of it without using his savings, without using his own money, without even having to deal with contractors, without having to negotiate the deal, without having to do a lot of work, but just by letting his credit work for him.
Yeah. So understand that once you can tap into that, you can find people in your circuit that have good credit. And you can show them the benefits of working with you. Things can go totally explode for you. The one thing I want to say is that a lot of times you feel like people won't invest in you. Understand that there's people around you that will invest in you because of you.
Right.
Because of the things you've done in your upbringing, because of the trust that you showed in the past, and because they want to see you win. It's not always about the ROI and those type of things. People first are investing in you. They're not investing in that deal. That deal is just a byproduct. They're investing in you.
Absolutely. Nikki said, let everyone know who will listen. Let them know what you do. Yes, that is so important. You have to tell people what it is that you do, what it is that you're trying to do, because you never know who's in your corner, who's your biggest cheerleader, and who just wants you to succeed. Going back to my first person, I didn't even know that God put it on her heart to come and help us during this situation. And when she said that, we were like, well, I guess we got to go to him and ask him how to structure it. Because we don't understand, like we didn't know. We had always thought at the beginning, just like I'm sure most of you, we had always thought that real estate had to come from our own pockets. We bought our houses cash back then. The most we were doing was buying it on a personal credit card. And that was an under $10,000 house, which you already know how it looked if it was under $10,000. But that was it. That was all we knew. We didn't want to, in our family where we're raised, debt is bad. So we didn't want any debt. We didn't want to cash is king. No, cash is not king. There's only so far you can go with cash. There's only so far you can go personally. Understand? Like it's when you build partnerships, it's when you build a team. That's when you really scale. That's when you really start doing some things. And the quicker you're able to adapt that concept, the longer you're in real estate, the longer you're able to make moves, the longer you're able to change your family's life trajectory and create that freedom that you desire. You have to know that it's not about you. It's about how do I create win-win situations for everyone involved.
That was important. You got to say that line one more time.
How do I create win-win situations for everyone that's involved?
And what it's always about. You got to create win-win situations. There is never going to be a one-sided transaction. If you want to continuously recruit good private investors, always make it win-win and tell them what's going on. So the crazy part about our first person that we turned credit and turned their credit into cash and then made the money, he went and recruited other
He
people for it,
started
y'all.
telling other people.
Like he had his homeboys coming, hey man, y'all gotta come check this out. Hey, I made this type of money off of my credit. All right. So once you get a proof of concept, you don't even really have to recruit like that for real. They gonna go tell other people and they gonna want a piece of the pie.
Then you have raving fans because everyone wants to be able to make some money. Who doesn't want to make in your sleep money? Like,
that's real.
Who doesn't? I for sure love it.
And I can tell you this, that $20,000 he made was almost more than double of what he make a year. And he made it without doing nothing.
All right, I see your question. It says, how do I pitch? We're going to talk about that. Let's kind of shift into what that conversation looks like. For those of you who know me, you know that I am never going to come right at you and say, hey, I got this deal and I'm wondering if you want to invest. No, I'm never going to go to the person directly. Shout out to one of my coaches for helping us with that concept and really outlining it for us so that those conversations got better. But I'm always going to go to the person that I think is the investor. And I'm going to say, do you know someone? Do you know someone who may be looking to make an extra 20% off of their returns, 25% off of their returns? I have someone or I am doing a deal where we may need 25,000, but they can make 25% off of that 25,000 in the next 6 months to a year. Do you know anyone? 9 times out of 10, that person that you're talking to is going to say, you know what? I may be willing to do that. Tell me a little bit more. But I'm never going to ask them directly. Never.
All right. So that is a golden nugget. That is sauce that you got to take with you. That makes the conversations a whole lot easier because you don't necessarily want to back that person into a corner to saying yes or no, but you want to present the opportunity to them, even though you know that's the person you're trying to get.
Even though you know.
Present the opportunity. Talk about the deal. One of the other things that I would say is if you are a newbie, all right, this is what I recommend you doing. I recommend you joining somebody's program and being able to say, hey, I just joined X Flipper Academy. I got some great mentors. They're going to help me in my real estate business. I'm looking for a deal. I found the deal, but leaning on your mentors to help with the conversation. And when they ask questions that you don't necessarily have answers to, you can always go back and refer to your mentor. Say, hey, that's a good question. Let me ask my mentors about it. That way they know that you have invested in yourself and you want to grow. And if you invest in yourself, they're more willing to invest with you because they know, for one, you have backing, and for two, you are trying to grow and get to another place.
Absolutely. One of our students, they were on Christmas break, I think it was, and they were with their family, and they had just joined our coaching program. And they was like, listen, we think that this person in our family may be a good investor. We're going to pitch to them this weekend when we go. Is it possible, if we need you, that you can hop on the call if we have any questions, or we can't answer some of the questions that they throw at us? And literally, you guys, they went, they had questions. We hopped on it was like a 5-minute call. They were able to get $200,000 in private funding from a family member just for pitching it, telling them, like Antonio said, here's my mentors, here's what I'm learning, here's what my plans are, here's what I want to do. And yes, they had been told no by several people, but it was that one time where it hit, they got it right. They called on us, we helped them close that deal, and this is their third time rinsing and repeating that $200,000 now they're investing without having to use credit, without having to use cash. And we always tell you that a good partnership has time, talent, and treasure. Well, guess what? They have the time and they have the talent because they have the education. And because one of them is real. So like they have that talent that the other investor doesn't. They have the treasure. So when you get all those three things align, that's what make a good partnership. That's what help you with your business partner, because you're saying, listen, I got time to manage this deal. I got the talent. I know how to manage contractors. I know how to pick materials. I know how to manage the budget. I know how to renovate. I know how to exit. I know how to do this from start to finish. That's how you create partnership.
One thing I will suggest is when you are first starting out, don't get caught up into 20, 25. Just say, hey, I'm looking for 50-50 partners.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to split the net proceeds 50-50. All right. So in an ideal situation, you're going to bring the treasure. I'm going to bring the talent and the time. And we're going to do a 50-50 split after everybody's paid back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Don't get into trying to calculate those things if you
don't make it over complicated.
Simple. Keep it simple. Hey, I found the deal for $85,000. We're gonna invest $61,000 into it. We got a couple $1,000 holding costs, and we're gonna split the profit afterwards. We're looking to make probably about $30,000 to $40,000. So just talk simple terms. Don't get into talking percentages, because that can trip you up if you're not familiar with that language.
Absolutely. And then you can mess around and calculate it wrong and not have enough for you or your partner. And then it's a sticky situation then.
And I want to touch on this, and I don't know if you got the next slide, but I want to touch on this. Get out of the mindset of borrowing money is bad, y'all. Understand that a lot of us was raised and programmed that borrowing money is bad. Debt is bad. Y'all, America is built on debt.
It is.
If you go look at any company that has success, major success.
Apple, debt.
Yes, they have cash, but they also have debt, because leverage is important when you're growing your business. And it took me 6 years to understand that. I was always raised cash is king. I don't want no debt. I ain't paying no debt back. I don't want to pay nobody 5, 10, 15, 20%. But I was simple-minded.
It was the moment where we realized, okay, if we paid this 20% and we're able to do 4 deals at a time versus if we just used our own cash and we can only do 1 deal, how much more could we make if we were able to do 4 deals at a time, keep our cash, and pay the investors? Like that, you would have made 20,000, 30,000 on 1 deal. Multiply that times 4.
Boom. And that's how your life can change
Instantly.
One of my coaches / friends, reverse engineer your deals.
Yeah.
All right. Don't start with how much money you're paying your investor. Start with how much money you're going to make.
How much money am I going to make at the end of the day?
If I'm going to make $20,000 on this deal, even if I'm giving them $10,000, $15,000, $30,000, I don't care if I can make my $20,000. And once you start thinking like that, the possibilities become endless.
Because now you're looking at, okay, well, what else can I structure? And can I even do some partnerships that don't even require me in it? So now I just free myself up of time. Like you've just taken it to a whole nother level on partnerships so that you can get some in your sleep money too.
There it is.
All right. I want to go to, do you want to hop into that first?
Borrowers beware. All right. So this is where it get real, y'all. We accumulated so much private capital at one time that it was our downfall.
Absolutely.
So understand that you can once you get good at it, you can accumulate money. Money won't be an issue. But before you scale and before you grow, make sure your foundation is in place.
Make sure you have a foundation in place.
Yes, make sure you are not solely doing everything, because when we grew, our foundations from the contractor side wasn't in place. And we tried to build it as we went along, but it did not work, y'all.
Yeah.
So also the other thing I'll tell you is don't borrow too much money, because if you borrow too much money, it's going to be hard to potentially get out of the deal. One of the things that we did wrong when we first started was we was borrowing too much money. And sometimes it didn't work in our favor. Yes, it worked in the private lender favor, but it didn't work in our favor. So just beware when you are borrowing money, not to borrow too much money. Also, beware to not borrow too much money too fast. All right, slow down, take it easy,
Take it easy.
execute.
Rome wasn't built in a day. Like seriously, I think, and I'm guilty of it. I was the go 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 go. Like there's so like there's no tomorrow. Like there's no speed. No, slow it down. Take your time. Make sure you have foundation. Make sure you have systems in place before you start doing 3-4 deals at a time. It's easy to get to 3 and 4 deals.
It's easy,
It's
y'all.
easy. All right.
Listen to me. When I tell you it's easy, y'all. I'm telling you, it can be done. Plenty of people have done it. Our students have
Without
done it.
having a team in place, without having infrastructure, you can get to 4 quickly. But I promise you, as you start going from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20, if that infrastructure is not in place, when I tell you, you start trying to balance things, and it's not enough hours in a day for you to mentally balance everything, to go and check every project, to make sure everybody is happy. Like it becomes um nerve-wracking, and it starts to really affect you. So make sure your systems first are in place. Make sure that your systems are in place to hold what it is that you're trying to scale for, and not scaling as you get there.
And with that being said, don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times we are so worried about what people are going to think of us. We're so worried about what happens if we
Can
fail.
I raise my hand?
If we're so afraid of how our family's going to look at us. I'm telling y'all, you got to do it. You have to go head first, execute.
And everybody always say this. Their biggest fear is they don't want to be able to fail. They don't want to fail. Like they don't want to put their family in that risk. And I'm just here to tell you, I don't know how many times that I failed. I probably failed this morning. Like when I tell you, it's a constant fail, fail, win, fail, win. But guess what? If you're not failing, how do you even celebrate your successes? Because you don't even know what it looks like. Like you gotta fail to be able to teach others. You gotta fail to be able to teach your family. You gotta fail in order to win. So that I don't want to fail, that's a cop out. You just want to be average. And if you want to be average, that's fine. But if you really want to have freedom, if you really want to change your family's trajectory, you're gonna fail at some point.
Somebody got to be the one to take the risk.
Somebody's gonna fail.
Somebody got to be the crazy that says, "Hey, I'm gonna do this no matter what." And yes, it's gonna be bumps and hills on this journey. That's gonna happen. But I can tell you, after every failure I had, my future was so much brighter. And I'm just talking from experience. Like I failed plenty of times, but the future after those failures was always brighter than what that failure was.
And I know I talk about this with Aaliyah, but sometimes you're so afraid to fail and you don't even know you already won. Get yourself involved. Do what it is that you want to do, because success is right there. Like you're already a champion. You just got to tell yourself that. Like you just got to get involved. You just got to get off the sideline. You just got to do it. You
already. So we use a program called the Evaluator to kind of help present some of these things. Like once you get into it, to show them numbers and things of that nature. So we're going to show this real quick just to kind of give you a glimpse of kind of, you don't have to create nothing from scratch. There are programs out here that can help you present deals. All right. So this is the actual deal we're working on over in the Irondale area. I just took it and made this presentation with it. But you can go to the next one. So on the deal, it's showing the ARV of the property, which is the after repair value. We got the purchase price, we got the rehab costs, we got the holding costs, and you can implement all those numbers. We also, if you look at the bottom, we have the profit split, because this is a 50-50 deal. Also, there's lines where you can explain things that you want. You got pictures that you can put into this. It can show you how long this project will take. It also shows the bed and bath of the property, gives some specs about the property so you can give them information. On this one, it's basically showing your cash on cash return for your lender so that they can see what they're doing. It also shows them the total amount of money that's needed to make it happen. We also put some comparables in the private money lender packet. We generate all this in the software. So this is showing them, hey, this is the properties that have sold in the area.
The
Top 3 properties, and this is where we feel like we're comfortable saying we can sell for 252 because of these things that happen in the area. And you're not just saying, hey, that area over in Westchester is $1 million area. No, that's not how we talk. We talk in this household for this much, this household for this much, this household for this much. So understand that that's important because all those things are giving your potential private money lender or business partner confidence in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And we got some pictures on here. You can put how many pictures you want just to show the property, to show what's going on. If you want, you can also attach your detailed scope of work to this to show them, hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. I didn't put it on this one, but you can put all of that on it. So the program that we use is called the Valuator. There should be a link in the chat so you can go check it out. This is a free program. So if you're looking to make private money pitches and things of that nature, make sure you go check it out.
Yeah, I think the sweet part about the Valuator is you're able to do this in minutes. Like it's not something where we used to create it ourselves on a Google Doc, and it would take us about an hour or two just to make sure, okay, is this what the structure should be? Should it look like this? Making sure we had all the information. Let's grab the comps, let's grab the pictures. But Valuator lets you do it all in one spot. And then it looks professional. It doesn't look like something you just typed up. And it's more appealing to the person that you're lending to. And they're like, you know what? Yeah, I can do this.
So I don't know if that's the right link. I seen somebody on the team post a link. I don't know if that's the right link for the Valuator. So let's make sure we check that. I'll probably move it for now.
And one thing I want to say is, I can't remove it on here. One thing that I want to say is, with all of the deals, when you have a lender that is a business partner that is putting money out, you want to make sure that there's a note and mortgage in place. It is extremely important to make sure there's a note and mortgage in place. If you're the lender, you want to make sure you're in position on that property with a note and a mortgage. If you are the borrower, you want to make sure your lender money is secured with a note and a mortgage.
So the reason the note and mortgage is absolutely must have is because the person that's doing the rehab or the person that the property name is in, they can't sell that property until you get paid. Mm-hmm. That's how you tell the world, I have an interest in this property.
I have a vested interest.
And nothing happens until I sign off on it, as far as from a disposition standpoint. We're not doing handshakes. This is all on board to make sure that things are done properly. And the one thing I also say is, if something happens and you mess up, make it right. Like, yes, they're lending to your business, but at the end of the day, they're lending to you. Yeah. And your name is important. So make sure you try your best to make it right if anything go wrong. So don't be afraid. Things happen. You can do it.
You can do
Keep pushing. Start changing your conversations. Start changing your circles. Start telling everybody you come in contact with what you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
There isn't a conversation or a person I come in contact with that we don't talk about money. We don't talk about investing. We don't talk about credit. We talking. That's what we talk about. When I go to the family, that's what I'm talking about.
All right. Even to the kids, like we're talking to the kids about that because you need to know, because those aren't comfortable conversations. We didn't have conversations about money and credit and business opportunities when we were in school, when we were younger. So no, we're making those conversations and we're changing our generations. We're changing our trajectory, and we're having those conversations earlier now so that we can really do some good in the family and change their limited beliefs.
Why you got the masculine on the bottom? One thing I want to say is, if you're watching this on our regular page, make sure you go join our free group, REI Decoded. We have these trainings every Tuesday. If you want to get your questions asked, make sure you go to the group. Also, we have a free mini course for you if you're trying to get started. You don't know much about real estate. You just need kind of a guide. We got a free mini course in there. Make sure y'all go join the mini course and at least get some knowledge of things that you like or don't like, or some ways that can help you grow.
Real estate is so broad. There's so many niches when it comes to real estate. There's so many ways to make money when it comes to real estate. You just got to tap in and find out which one you want to do and dive into it hard. Don't start doing multifamily, single family, commercial all at the same time, because those concepts aren't the same. The foundation as far as how to find a deal is the same, but those concepts are totally different from each other. So find the one thing that you want to do, be great at that one thing before you start adding multiple things.
The one thing I do want to say is that to all my people that's not in Birmingham, you in Georgia, you in Florida, you in Tennessee, Texas, the foundation of real estate don't change, y'all. Understand this. You got to find the property. You got to understand how to fund the property. You got to understand how to rehab the property.
Right.
Now, there's different exit strategies once you get the property, but how to find the property, how to fund / structure the deal, and how to rehab the property, those things don't change. When you're doing commercial, new build, multifamily, you have to understand that foundation. And that's what we really try to hop around in our group, is the foundation of real estate.
Absolutely.
The fundamentals.
The fundamentals of real estate. We're having a free training on March 27th. It's a virtual training where we're going to be teaching you on how you can start investing in real estate, learn how to start investing in real estate. Go ahead, register today. Let me put the QR code up real quick so you can take a snapshot of it. Go ahead and register for the event. Make sure that you register.
We're going to be talking about hard money lenders / real estate funding on this training. We're going to be talking about contractors on this training.
Working with contractors.
We're going to be talking about community on this training. So if you have done less than 5 deals, you need to be on this training.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure you are doing as many things as possible so that you can increase your knowledge, because the more knowledge you have, the less fear you have. Yeah. All right.
All right. Let's jump into questions. Any questions right now, you guys, from what you've seen? What are some questions that you have as it relates to getting started? All right. Do y'all feel secure when it comes to having the conversation with a potential business partner? How do you feel about that?
At least starting the conversation.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be perfect.
It's not going to be perfect.
Ever. The more time you put in, the more energy, the more times you craft your message, the more times you say it, the more confident you will feel, so that you can get that message out.
It's going to be super uncomfortable in the beginning. Super uncomfortable. But the more you do it, the better you get.
Absolutely. I used to run from it, and I used to just throw it off on Tonio, like, all right, Tonio, that's you. All right, Tonio, that's you. And I was at a meeting. I don't even know. I can't think of the business name. And they said, well, Ashley, tell us how we can invest. And I was like, wait, now that's Antonio. And I had to stop it right there and say, all right, so this is how it goes. And then I can set you up to talk to Antonio. But I would pass the buck like, well, that's not my part of the business.
All right, well, we're going to get out of here, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, if you learned 1 or 2 nuggets, make sure you share this with your family. Make sure you invite people to the REI Decoded group.
For those of you who
I don't know
for the framework, because we told them that they'll get the framework.
So if you want that packet that I did as a sample, I would just put partner in this training, and we'll send you that packet out so you can kind of look over it to see exactly what we're saying and what we are presenting to our private money lenders / business partners.
Yeah. So drop partner in the comments and we'll send it over to you.
All
All right.
Let's roll.
We will see you guys on Thursday. We're going live. We're doing our Fearless Investing podcast. And I am so elated.
Bro, you gotta find another word. You gotta stop saying that word every day.
I'm so happy.
Okay, thank you.
I'm so happy that we're going to have Miss Darlene Root, and we're going to be talking about the mindset and how we have mental roadblocks that's stopping us from achieving our goals. And she's going to dial into how do you shut down those mental roadblocks, those fears, so that you can really execute and get off the sidelines. So
yes, it's gonna be good, y'all. I get excited talking to them. So make sure you tune in. If you haven't started real estate, make sure you listen to this podcast because she can probably tell you why. And it's not money.
And if you're having issues in whatever you're going through right now in real estate, let's reprogram that mind so you can win. All right. I love you guys. Can't wait to see you on Thursday. Peace.